The greatest sin of all, Genesis 2:23. When God formed man of the earth and breathed into him the breath of life, it was the beginning of something wonderful. Neither God, Jesus, nor the Holy Spirit were created. They always were and always shall be. When God started creating the universe, he created a special planet that needed someone to tend it. His first pick was Lucifer. Lucifer was cast to the earth as a fallen archangel, along with a third of the heavenly hosts. Tragically, as beautiful as God created the other planets that we're aware of, we will never know about how beautiful the earth was the first time, because Lucifer, now known as Satan in his fallen state, along with that 1/3 of the angels, may have done to the earth was catastrophic because it destroyed it. Genesis 1:2. God had to start over. Preachers will say God spoke things into existence. I say God ordered things into existence. I say this because God has command of everything on earth, right down to the subatomic level. If he didn't, he couldn't heal a man of wretched hands by simply telling the misaligned subatomic particles in his hand to realign. This may sound extremely scientific, but that's what God does. He commands. At any rate, God created Adam to take care of the new earth and put him over Satan. Oh yeah, God renames people when he gives them a new mission statement, so Lucifer's name was changed to Satan. When God created Adam, God created Adonis on earth. Picture in your mind's eye. God doesn't want you to picture in your eye because God doesn't want you to picture God in your eye because it would put a limit on what God is, says, or does. And that would be unfair to God. This, however, would not be unfair to Adam because Adam was a man with limitation. He was, after all, man. So picture in your mind's eye Adonis. I leave any part of this description to the women, mainly because men don't need to be describing the perfect man. When you describe this perfect man, he must be described naked, because that's how he was formed. God had chosen to make this perfect being naked. After a while, it was found that man, Adam, needed a partner. Remember, at this point, God is seeking perfection. God puts Adam to sleep and takes one of his ribs and creates an absolute work of art. We will call this work of art woman. She was presented to Adam fully innocent and naked. Now is the man's turn. Song of Solomon will give you a hand because the biggest thing he speaks of is her breasts. Look it up. 6 verses worth. Now, two people made for each other in the perfect atmosphere with the perfect God being given one command: be fruitful and multiply. I need to correct something here. God did not create woman. God created Eve. Adam called her woman, which means of man. And in all actuality, the reason why he did that is because when he first saw Eve, he said, "Whoa, man, she's pretty." Well, man, there you go. Be fruitful and multiply. Adonis and the sexiest woman on earth getting carte blanche on a planet to go have fun with each other. They were made for this. If you could close the Bible right now, God would be more than happy. As we know, you can't. So why not come as close as you can? Love him or her to complete excess. And if you can't multiply, at least have fun doing it. By now, you have figured out what I feel is the worst sin ever committed. It wasn't Eve eating the forbidden fruit. It was the implant of the belief that they were naked and ashamed. I call it an implant because Satan caused this to be the first thing brought to mention the couple. Brought to mention to the couple. I could picture the look in God's eyes when Eve said they were naked and afraid. This was a violation of one of God's main principles of life, and knew they could only come up with this thought in one way. Oh, Eve, please, tell me you didn't eat of that tree. I told you to stay away from it. It wasn't because they were naked. Of course, they were naked. They were created that way. It was because Satan knew that all he had to do was plant one corrupt thought and have them believe it was true, like a politician. Many people have adopted it as truth because to even have thoughts of being naked would have them running for cover. God bless the children. Children are a source in thought that if you were to take the diaper off one and let him or her air out, they would resist being rebound. It's in our DNA to be as Adam and Eve first were. The greatest sin of all is calling God's creation a sin and hiding it. Your body is beautiful. It was created that way by God. You are the ones that hide it.